Joining me now, Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State, Fox News contributor. Mr. Secretary, have you heard from the speaker since you made your offer?
Laura, thanks for having me on. I have not heard from her. It was a little bit tongue-in-cheek in that I'd prefer to travel with lots of other people. But having said that, this is about America. If the Speaker of the House now allows some second-rate Chinese foreign diplomat who says, boy, we might do something that's really hard on America, if your Speaker of the House, the third person, the third highest-ranking federal official, says, no, you can't come here, we're going to do something, and we acquiesce to that threat, we're in for a long decade here in the United States of America. President Biden needs to get serious. He needs to defend the things that matter to the American people, from California to New York to Florida to Washington, to allow the Chinese to just issue a statement and change the direction, change the actions that the United States will take, because we are fearful of them. We are in for a long struggle, and it will not end well with that kind of failed leadership.
Yeah, so what message does it send if we allow China to dictate the travel of the woman who's third in line for the presidency? What message does that send to them?
It tells every one of our allies in the region, the Japanese, the South Koreans, the Australians, it says, don't hang with the Americans. They're fearful. And it tells our adversaries. You mentioned Afghanistan. Certainly the same thing happened in Ukraine as well. We said a minor incursion would be okay. When you're not strong, this is a tough, nasty world out there, Laura, where you're not strong, especially, again, what is the greatest threat to the American people today, the Chinese Communist Party, when you demonstrate weakness, they are going to walk through the fire, and they're going to make life really difficult for us. It doesn't need to be that way. We're the most powerful nation in the world. We have an economy that is unrivaled. We can beat them. We can win this. We can continue to have another 250 good years for America. But if a Speaker of the House is just going to travel to a sovereign nation, the nation of Taiwan, and the Chinese say, no, we don't think she should go, and you go, okay, never mind, we're not going to send her, that is a bad and dangerous place to find yourself.
It is. It's so unbelievable. I can't even believe we're even having to talk about it. But speaking of washed-up Pentagon talking heads, Mr. Secretary, here's retired Army General Barry McCaffrey. Watch.
Most people say you shouldn't go. It's a thoughtless measure at this point to have a politician there. I'm not sure what positive can come out of it, and there will be some signal, some measure by the Chinese in response to a Pelosi visit. It's not a good idea.
I mean, Mr. Secretary, is everybody bought and paid for by China? Everyone? I'm not saying he is, but he certainly sounds like he is.
Boy, not everyone, but too many. Whether it's Hollywood, who acquiesces the same way Biden did, right? They don't put Chinese characters in, or they continue to buy stuff from Xinjiang, where they're committing atrocities even today, our biggest corporations in America. There's a lot of folks that are deeply connected to China in a way that's not good for the United States. General McCaffrey there kind of just assumes failure. He assumes that the Chinese ought to be able to dictate who can travel where from the United States. What's next? You're going to tell leaders they can't travel someplace else because the Chinese don't like it if they go to Fiji or the Solomon Islands or wherever it may be? This is a very dangerous path to head down. We ought to do the things that matter to America, the things that defend and protect our sovereignty and our security. We can do that. We need not be fearful. We need to be strong and clear. Whether Speaker Pelosi went or not 6 months ago might not have mattered. But once she said she was going, to not go in the face of a Chinese threat demonstrates real weakness, and real danger follows.
I just keep saying the Pentagon told us that the Afghan army could hold their line for 6 months, a year, and they collapse in 1 week. So until we do a retrospective on everything they've gotten wrong, I'm sorry, the leadership, not talking about the rank and file, we elected a president to be our commander-in-chief, not Millie and Austin. So that's my view on that. Mr. Secretary, great to see you.